up, producers? It's Matt from Music Producer School coming back at you. It's Saturday. I am going to be doing try and do a quicker one today than our last class. So our last class on Thursday, unfortunately, we had a little technical issue on my end, and you were not able to hear as I was going through these vocals. I was showing y'all how to comp vocals, and nobody tipped me off that you weren't able to hear the vocal. Now, I have said before that sometimes I may not be able to play certain clips of audio because of the whole Facebook and YouTube, when they demonetize and like flag your audio. But that was not the case this time. It was just a technical error on my part. So I'm actually going to redo the vocal comping lesson today, which I think might be good anyway, because it's not, if you've never done this procedure before, it seems a little daunting. So I want to see if I can make it even a little more simple for you guys and girls today, rather. So I'm also going to try and do it a little bit quicker. I may not go through the whole vocal, but I wanted to stress a couple points that I thought were important that going through it the first time, I may not have stressed quite enough anyway, because they're super key to doing this. So anyway, as always, go to the Producer School community and the links there on Facebook. Join the Music Producer School community. It's free, but it's private. I'm going to be going to the community right after this live stream. I'm going to start a new one on the community page, and it'll just be private there. But that's where I'll let you post your music, and I'll actually listen to your music there live today. And I will give you feedback and tips on what you can do to make it better. Or maybe if it's just killer, I'll just tell you good job. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to be comping vocals one more time today. And I'm going to double check and make sure that y'all can hear what the hell is going on. So here we go.
One more day. Feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, so I think we're good. You can all hear me out there. So let me set this procedure up one more time, and I'm going to try and make this one a little bit quicker today. Okay, so where we left off, as always, I'm going to do our last session before I did the previous one that didn't have the audio. So in our last session, it was 8.1. So as always, I'm going to do a save live set as. And I'm going to call this 9.1, and I'm going to call this redo because of the technical issue on the last go at this. So this is going to be our vocal comping session 9.1. So I have my demo vocal up here, and then the 4 vocal takes that we did were here. Remember, they're all going out to this lead vocal bus. My lead vocal bus is going to the master, right? So what I want to do first of all is I want to color code all these tracks differently. So I'm going to take whatever color this is, and let's match it up with the track channel there. And then let's change this one to something different so we can tell what we're fooling with here. So we'll do this in yellow, and I'll show you why this is important in just a moment. Let's do this one in green. Let's get all of these in green. And then let's maybe do this one in like I don't really like white for this so much. Let's do like this orange. Okay, so I have my 4 vocal takes right here that I did, and they're all color coded separately. And the reason that's important is because now I'm going to create a new channel, and I'm going to rename it Lead Vocal Comp. And I'm going to turn off the input, and I'm going to send this out into this lead vocal bus here so that whenever I pick apart, so if you don't know what vocal comping is, basically what it means is we're going to go through each piece of these vocals for every take, and we're going to listen to them back to back with all the takes, and we're going to pick out the best phrase, sometimes even the best word of a phrase, and we're going to take it and select the best one out of these 4 vocal takes, and that's what we're going to use for our final lead vocal comp, and it'll end up down here. Now, I like to do my lead vocals in pink, so I'm going to color code the track channel that way, but you'll see how this works with all the different takes up here as I move them around. So we have that set to go to our lead vocal bus. So as we pull takes down, we're going to hear it coming out of these same effects for everybody. So the reason I want to do these color coded is because this is the procedure. I'm going to listen through here, and then whichever one I take, I'm going to be able to tell which take I used for the lead vocal comp. So as I start putting the comp together, I'll start looking at it and being able to see, oh, I took that vocal from here, this vocal from here. It's all good, right? But another key thing with this is I don't want to just move the vocals like that and kind of cut. I want to actually, whenever I take a good take, I want to copy it, because what that allows me to do is later on down the road, if I want to use some of these other channels or track takes rather for doubling the vocals, that's something I can do where I can use a left and right vocal, but you can't use the same exact take for each of those side vocals. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't work right. You have to use separate takes to do that nice doubling, thickening kind of trick where you put a vocal on the left, a vocal on the right, and a vocal in the center. That's pretty popular to do for choruses and stuff like that, and I'm going to show you all how all that works after we get through this procedure. But it's important because if I take this vocal right here as my first take, I can't just grab the same vocal and put it on a left and right channel. I need to grab some of these other ones. So that's why I want to be sure to copy and paste these like I'm doing now. And also later on down the road, if I screw something up and I need to go back to where I was, it leaves me kind of a little bit of a trail marker to find my way back to the original vocals in the way that they were. So I'm not chopping everything up. So that's super important. So let's get into it and show you how I do this. The first important thing of this procedure is I'm going to make these vocals so that I can easily flip between all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the demo vocal because we don't really need that anymore. And I'm going to hit, and this is an Ableton specific thing, but you can do other stuff like this with MIDI mapping or key mapping in all the other programs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Command K, and I'm going to click rather my speaker on off key button here, and I'm going to hit the number 1 key on my keyboard. I'm going to hit the next take, and I'm going to hit number 2. I'm going to hit 22 there and hit number 3. 23, I'm going to hit the numerical 4 key, and for my vocal comp, I'm going to hit number 5. So now what I can do is just with my fingers on my left hand while I got my mouse in the other hand, I can just now switch all these channels on and off. So when I hit number 1, you're going to see 20 come on. Number 2, 21, and so forth. So I can easily flip between all of my vocal takes, and I can also now flip between my vocal comp track on and off. And what that's going to allow me to do is listen very quickly to these vocals, and I'm going to be able to just flip through each of them very quickly so I can compare them quickly. So let me show you how this works. We're going to start off with take number 1 here. So you can see with my number 1 on the keyboard, I just turned this track on, number 20 there, and we're just going to listen very quickly to this first phrase right here. That's all we're worried about.
One more day.
And now I'm going to flip over to take number 2.
One more day.
All right, take number 3.
One more day.
All right, number 4.
One more day.
All right, so number 4 sounded better to me. They're not all going to be that easy, but I'm going to copy that one down to my comp track, and that was the first one. Now we're going to listen to this one. I'm going to go back to take number 1, turn the track on.
Feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, take number 2.
Feels like you threw my heart away.
Number 3.
Feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, a little static on that one, so no good there.
Feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, I like that one still from take number 4. We're going to roll with that one. We're going to keep it moving. Back up to the top.
One last chance.
Number 2.
One more chance.
Now right here you'll notice I changed the vocal, the lyric from one last chance to one more chance. That was just an artistic thing when I was doing it. I figured I wanted to do one more day and one more chance. It's a little easier for the listener to remember. So I want to eliminate this one right here because that's not really going to work for me in any of this, so I'm just going to mute it. And then also, since this take had a little static in it, I'm going to mute it out, so that way I know I don't really want to mess with it at all anymore. So let's go to take number 2.
One more chance.
All right, pretty good. Take number 3.
One more chance.
That was pretty good. Number 4.
One more chance.
I don't know. I think maybe number 3 on that one.
One more chance.
Yeah, I like number 3 better on that one, so we're going to just copy it down. And also, when you're copying down like that, be sure to be careful. I'm on the grid right now, so it's locked to the grid, but I can still move around these grid lines. So you want to make sure when you're doing this that your vocals are matching up when you copy them down there. That's super important, obviously. All right, let's keep it moving to the next phrase. We're just going to go to here. Turn on track number 1 again.
Let a good love slip through your hands.
All right, take number 2.
Let a good love slip through your hands.
Number 3.
Let a good love slip through your hands.
Number 4.
Let a good love slip through your hands.
I feel like number 3 was better again there, so we're going to roll with that. We're going to go back up to take number 1.
Tainted sad when the tears.
Let's back it up just a tad.
Tainted sad when the tears start coming.
Number 2.
Tainted sad when the tears start coming. Tainted sad when the tears start coming.
Number 4.
Tainted sad when the tears start coming.
Pretty good. Let's check number 3 again.
Tainted sad when the tears start coming.
Okay, so like right here, for example, I'm noticing that this green vocal seems like it's a little bit behind. And you can see if we zoom in here, it does appear to be a little bit behind the rest of the takes for some reason. So I actually just put a cut right here. So that way I can move just this section of vocal. And I'm just going to scoot it up a little bit, and I'm just looking visually to try and get it lined up with where the other ones were coming in. So that's also important when you're comping vocals like this. You want to make sure your timings are good, because if they're not, it's going to sound wrong before you even listen for pitch or anything like that, tone. So let's make sure that our stuff's in time first as well. So I just cheated it over a little bit there. So let's listen to number 3 again now that we moved it.
Tainted sad when the tears start coming, falling down like rain.
Yeah, that sounded pretty good right there. So I'm gonna roll with that one, and then I'm gonna zoom in here, and I want to make sure that we're getting. I'm soloing my comp track down here now. I want to make sure we're getting that S correctly down here.
Through your hands, tainted sad when.
Yeah, that actually sounded pretty good. But remember, you can move these fades around if you need to. So if I wanted more S, I could do like that.
Through your hands, tainted sad.
This was actually the and right here. I want more of the S, and I want to just go right into ain't it.
Through your hands, tainted sad when the tears start coming.
Maybe even a little more of that S.
Your hands, tainted sad when the tears. Your hands, tainted sad when.
And let's do a little crossfade here. Just a tiny one.
Your hands, tainted sad when. Your hands. Your hands, tainted sad when the tears.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of liking that.
Your hands, tainted sad when the tears start coming.
All right, let's move to our next one.
It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
Okay, so another tip here. Don't try to do super long phrases like all of this. Break them up into shorter phrases, because by the time you get to the end of this whole thing, you're going to forget what the beginning sounded like. So I recommend trying to chop them up into shorter phrases, even if you wanted to chop it into something that small and listen.
It's like a sickness.
And you could just listen to like a sickness.
It's like a sickness. It's like a sickness. It's like a sickness.
Let's listen to this. Let's listen from here to here now. Take number 1.
It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness. It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
I like the quick on that one.
It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
Pretty good too.
It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
Okay, I kind of like that one, I think, but let's check number 3 one more time.
It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness. It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
Okay, so another tip here is if I'm kind of unsure between two takes, so I'm listening to take number 3 and take number 4 here, if I'm unsure of which one to take because they both sound pretty similar, what often I'll do is I'll choose whichever one that I took a previous take from before. So meaning if I'm trying to decide between 3 and 4, I'm looking over here in the comp track and I'm saying, oh, okay, I used the green take number 3 in the previous section. So in order to keep kind of some continuity there, I'm going to just take between the tiebreaker here of 3 and 4. I'm going to go with 3 because that's from the same set of takes, the same channel, and it's probably going to sound maybe a little more natural. So I'm going to also scoot this one over just a tad, and let's check out our comp track all together now.
Slip through your hands, ain't it sad when the tears start coming, falling down like rain? It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness.
All right, so now we got to finish it out right here. Go back to take 1.
It's a brand new kind of pain. And
Take 2.
it's a brand new kind of pain. And
Pretty good.
it's a brand new kind of pain. And
Okay, so this one again is a little bit behind, so we're going to scoot that up a little bit and get it in time with the rest so we can give it a fair chance. That's kind of how I think about it.
witness a brand new kind of pain. And
Pretty good. Let's listen to number 4.
witness a brand new kind of pain. And
Yeah, let's go back to number 2.
witness a brand new kind of pain. And
Yeah, I like this kind of pain here on this one, so I'm going to take the yellow, take number 2, and then let's just listen to this and by itself here. Number 2, number 3, number 4, kind of like number 1. That's a tough one. Let's listen one more time. Yeah, I kind of like number 2 there. Yeah, let's roll with number 2 because, again, for the tiebreaker, I'm going to pick whatever I used for the previous take, which was yellow. So I'm just going to peel out this yellow right here. And now we have that completed thing. So I wanted to show you guys this process because a lot of times people don't realize, you know, when you're listening to professional records on the radio or in the club, the big dogs, this is the procedure that they're doing, certainly for their lead vocals. Now, when you're doing background vocals and things like that, you don't have to necessarily be so meticulous about it, because a little bit of variation on background vocals is actually cool. You don't want everything to sound like super perfect and computerized, but for a strong lead vocal, you're gonna just, it's the fact of the matter, you're gonna have stronger takes than others. And it's just one of those things where you just have to go through this process in order to get the best possible vocal that you can get. And this is what the pros are doing, I can assure you. Because when I was living in California, you know, working out in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, all these great studios, and you're working with the top names in the industry, this is exactly what they're doing every single time. So I would highly recommend that you learn how to do this process. I just kind of wanted to go through it today with you and show you how quickly you can do it if you get those quick key buttons set up, and you can just keep cycling through all of your takes, and just quickly try and get the job done, because speed definitely helps. You don't want to try and comp vocals for like 3 or 4 hours because it's gonna fatigue you and you're not really gonna make good decisions. So you want to learn these little tricks with the key commands so you can just quickly go, okay, take 1, phrase 1, boom, take 2, phrase 2, boom. And then the other main important thing is setting up your tracks this way with the color coding. Make sure everything is labeled appropriately, because if you don't do that, what you might wind up happening is later on down the line, we're going to go through and we're going to tune this whole vocal. We're going to move some of the timing to make sure all the rhythms are exactly perfect. And if we screw something up, or maybe we just get to our final mix, this has happened to me multiple times. I get to the final mix and I go in and I'm listening and I'm like, man, something about that one word is just not right. Well, if you don't remember where you got that word from in all of these vocal takes, it's going to take you a long time if you can even figure out where you got that from. So leave yourself some tracks so you can cover where you came from. And that way, if you need to go back and pick a new vocal, you have no problem finding where every original thing came from. Even if it's just timing, you're like, man, I shouldn't have moved that vocal around. Let me just get it back to where I started. Well, this way you can do that without having to go through all kinds of crazy processes to figure out where things were to begin with. So that's pretty much the overview of how this happens. It's not the most glamorous work for sure, but essentially you're just going to go through each vocal phrase like that, pick the best ones out of the gate that you can find, and then this is what we're going to roll with for our lead vocal when it's finished. So on the next lesson when I come back, I'm going to show you how I work on just the lead vocal take right here, and we're going to go through and make sure all of our timings are perfect, and then we're going to start tuning this vocal so that all of the pitch is not necessarily perfect, but it's no obvious glaring mistakes is the way I like to think of it. When I'm tuning vocals, I don't want to get it perfect. What I tell artists and what I do for myself on vocals, I just want to get it to where nothing is distracting. Meaning if a pitch is just a little too much out, I want to bring it back in so that it doesn't distract the listener where they're like, wait, that note didn't sound right. So I don't need perfection. I just want to get it in that range of just not anything's going to be distracting. So that's pretty much the procedure right there. Again, nothing glamorous, but it's necessary. So if you've never seen this before, I hope it kind of opens your eyes to the level of detail that you need to operate at to really get truly professional sounding vocals. Because this is just the first part of the process. We laid down our demo vocal. We laid down our real vocal takes. Now we have comped the vocal. Next, I'm going to show y'all how I rhythmically edit the vocal to get all the timings feeling really good, and then we're going to tune the vocal, and then we'll start operating more on the mix of the vocal. So I hope y'all enjoyed that today. I'm going to head over to the Music Producer School community if y'all want to come join me there for a few minutes. I'm going to listen to a couple of your tunes, so I'll start up over there in about 5 minutes, and I hope to see you over there. If not, I hope this lesson was helpful for you today, and y'all have a great weekend. Peace out.